Good advice I got from a fortune cookie once. Think carefully before you snicker at once powerful folks who are down on their luck. Really, you wouldn't want them to do that to you, first of all, and they won't be down on their luck forever. Engage in schadenfreude at your own risk. It's a very large fortune cookie. That said, have you been paying attention to the Republican Party lately? The one national leadership job available in the Republican Party right now is chair of the Republican National Committee, chair of the National Party. It's Mike Duncan's job, right? Not traditionally a very big, important job at all. But for a GOP living in the post-George Bush age, RNC Chairman fight is kind of the main event. And they have decided to stage it this year in public as much as possible to highlight what post-Bush, post-McCain Republican leadership looks like in America. And so far we've learned that it looks like one candidate for the big job having to quit his membership at a whites-only country club. Oops. Another candidate sent a Christmas package to RNC committee members, including a CD of the song Barack the Magic Negro. Then, to make matters worse, Politico.com reported after that scandal that the Barack the Magic Negro thing might have actually helped that candidate's chances at getting the job. Yeah. Most recently, this week, it's sort of gotten worse. A public debate for RNC Chairman on Monday spiraled into the pressing issue of which candidate has the most Facebook friends. Really?
Yes, I do Twitter, but let me just say that I have 4,000 friends on Facebook. That's probably more than these two guys put together. But who's counting? You know.
I'll meet you on Facebook any day.
Meet you on Facebook any day? You meet? Yeah. The next day, on Tuesday, select members of the Republican National Committee were going to have a straw poll to determine who the best conservative successor to old Mike Duncan would be. When it appeared that old Mike Duncan was going to win that straw poll, they canceled the straw poll. Democracy. Then yesterday, Wednesday, there was supposed to be another public forum, except when the secretary called the roll, they realized they did not have a quorum. Not enough Republicans had bothered to show up for this event, so the RNC had to ask all the outsiders, including the TV camera people, to leave so they could discuss it privately. And what did the private conclave decide?
This is a rather unusual situation. We apologize for any inconvenience we may have caused all of you. We know that you've had an opportunity, at least on Monday, many of you who have joined us to hear these candidates. So this is going to be a members only and proxy certified discussion, and we will proceed with our candidate forum once we have cleared the room.
Because we couldn't get a quorum. Experience schadenfreude at your own risk. You have been warned by the fortune cookie. Joining us now is Ana Marie Cox, a contributor to the Daily Beast, and Ken Blackwell's Facebook friend. Hi, Ana Marie. Thanks for coming back on the show.
It's good to be back. At least I know I'm not alone on Ken's Facebook page.
No, you have 3,999 friends there. Well,
That's right.
He hasn't. Does he actually? I mean, I don't want to get personal, but he hasn't given you any sort of inside scoop on what's going on through your Facebook relationship, has he?
Unfortunately, no. I get little updates when he posts things to his website. In fact, I know for a fact that he put up the video of our discussion of his attempt to friend me on Facebook last week. So I think he's kind of hurting for material. Okay. As with the entire Republican Party, really.
Hello, Mr. Blackwell. If this ends up on your Facebook page, I want you to know that thank you for doing it. Hello, Facebook pals. All right. So is this really going as poorly as it seems? It seems like this is a process normally done in private. They decided to do it in public this year, I think for obvious reasons. They want to highlight Republican leadership. Are we seeing why this is usually done in private?
Well, I think to say that they decided to do it in public this year isn't quite it. They were sort of pushed into doing it in public this year. Of all people, Grover Norquist of Americans for Tax Reform, the disarmingly charming, extremely right-wing guy, is the one that came up with the idea of the public debate on Monday. And he really wants to drag this out in the open. But the RNC did go along with it. And they're really heartened by the 400 people that turned out for the debate on Monday, which was a fairly big crowd for something that's such an obscure position. However, yes, the turnout on Tuesday, incredibly disappointing. And also, I think that's that does hint at why it's usually done in private, which is usually the RNC members that vote on this, there's only 168 of them that don't really need to know the candidates. The outsiders don't run for RNC chair. They already know everybody, and the way that they decide their vote is through horse trading and not through presentation of policy or presentation of ideas.
Well, since they are having to publicly present policy and ideas, though, we are seeing more of this process than we ever do before. Does it tell us anything about the Republican Party, about what Republican politics are going to be like moving forward, to see on what grounds the candidates are competing, how they're representing themselves to try to win votes?
Like, who has more friends on Facebook? You know,
Awkwardly,
that's the future
yes.
of the Republican Party. Like, I'm not scared. You know, like I welcome our Democrat majority overlords. You know, I think that, I mean, it's instructive to look back 4 years ago when Howard Dean won the DNC chair in a somewhat similar position, and that did signal a big change for the Democratic Party. Although he was very loudly criticized for a while because of his strategy, but his strategy turned out to work. And so, yes, it could be that whoever comes out here turns out to save the Republican Party. But looking at these candidates, it is hard to really find a lot of differences among them when it comes to strategy or policy. A few of them are more socially moderate than the others. A few of them are much more socially inept than the others. But mainly they just talk a lot about technology and talk a lot about getting back to Republican and conservative ideals. And I actually had a discussion with one of the RNC members at the debate where he very passionately explained to me that the real problem, the real reason why Republicans lost in 2008 is because they didn't stick to conservative principles. But I wondered, but wasn't the election of Barack Obama a rejection of conservative principles? And he insisted that there were 10% of Americans out there that would vote Republican if they stuck to their principles. And I said, again, good luck with that.
Well, the Washington Times reports today that insiders are expecting either the South Carolina Party Chairman, Keaton Dawson, or the Michigan Party Chairman, Saul Anuntzis, I think is the way you say his last name, to be the winner.
Yes.
But we don't yet know. We will be watching to see how it unfolds.
We don't know. That's insiders. And Keaton Dawson is the one that had to quit the country club, by the way.
Yeah, that would be awkward. Daily Beast contributor Ana Marie Cox, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight.
Thank you.